Hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook. Good morning. Looks like I'm live now. Good morning, Facebook. November 4th. Chilly November 4th in the morning. Last 2 days we've had frost on the cars. So there's my sound check. I have sound. The microphone is working. It is 9:15 in the morning. I'm running a little behind today. I'm actually running a good 2 hours behind today. It's one of those lazy mornings. But I am on live. I missed yesterday. Just running around doing a lot of things, a lot of unexpected things. So today in this video, I want to talk about olive oil, things you must know about extra virgin olive oil or olive oil in general. I'm going to keep this short, hopefully. I've been known to talk for hours about olive oil. I've even spoken in Italy about olive oil. Olive oil is one of those things that is an amazing, amazing product. It's very hard to find the real deal extra virgin. There's a lot of counterfeit going on out there. A lot of counterfeit, more counterfeit than you can possibly imagine. If you're going to a grocery store like Walmart or Sam's Club or ShopRite or any of those big box stores and you're buying extra virgin olive oil, chances are you've been ripped off, scammed, and bought counterfeit. It's just what happens. Even the best brands out there, the single best brands like Colavita, the higher end brands, they are subject to fraudulent olive oil. And it's not really their fault because they're just packers and they're not really producers. They're just packing and buying on the open market olive oil, and they get scammed. So I'm going to talk about some things you need to know about olive oil today. And this Olive extra virgin olive oil, we're featuring it on sale this week. Just starting today, actually. We have a really good price on this. Our distributor was able to come in at a very multi-case level, and we stocked up on this. I had to buy a lot of this, but this is on sale this week, and I'm going to explain what's in here as well. So if you're tuning in live, by the way, on Facebook, just drop a comment, #live. If it's on the replay, drop a comment, #replay. If you're on YouTube watching this, because this video will make it to YouTube in a day or so, you will drop a comment, #replay. So olive oil, things you must know about olive oil. And I'm sure I'm going to miss things because this is a totally like last minute video, and I haven't listed things. But I know a lot about olive oil. I've been studying olive oil for years. In fact, if olive oil were to be invented today, true extra virgin olive oil were to be invented today, it would probably be one of the most top 5 to 10 therapeutic things you could put into your body. Olive oil is extremely, extremely healthy. So olive is a fruit. Olives are a fruit. They're loaded with phenols. So what you're drinking here, consuming is basically fruit juice loaded with a bunch of really awesome, cool polyphenols and a bunch of other things that are amazing for your health. When I was a young kid, to get rid of my asthma, an alternative doctor, an MD from South America, told my parents, give your son a spoonful of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, every single day. And after he explained what it was doing, I was young. We never did that, but doctors, alternative-minded doctors do prescribe olive oil. And even your regular doctor will say, oh, yeah, olive oil is good for you. Make sure you're using it with olive oil. So here are the things you need to know about olive oil. Ready? Never cook with extra virgin olive oil. Again, super, super healthy. You want to treat it and store it just like you would flax oil, borage oil, any of those other oils that are very high in omega-3s. They should be in a dark container, dark glass. It should be airtight, and it should be in the refrigerator. Not in a closet. And especially those tins that you buy, those 3-liter tins. Sometimes you'll pop especially chefs are notorious for this. They'll just take the knife and hit it in the edge and create an air gap, and then take the top off, and air just keeps going through it all the time. In restaurants, we go through it much quicker than you will at home, but do not do that at home. Once air starts hitting it, oxygen starts hitting it, it will start the oxidation process. It needs to be airtight. So store it in the refrigerator. Pull it out a half an hour before you're going to use it. A lot of olive oils will coagulate, all right, so they'll become thick in the refrigerator. So pull it out, then you can use it. Do not cook with it. As soon as you subject olive oil to heat, it starts breaking down. What you want to do is you want to season with olive oil. And do not cook with an olive oil blend. If you buy olive oil, do not buy any olive oil except extra virgin. And only season with it. Do not cook with it. Do not buy olive oil blends. Do not buy pomace oil. Pomace oil, also known as lampante oil in Italy. It's used as lamp oil. It's really not fit for human consumption. They have to mix a little bit of extra virgin back in it to balance out the acidity and say, okay, there you go. So extra virgin olive oil is the first pressing of the olives. After the first pressing, companies get greedy and they take these pressed olives and they will drop some hexane gas on them, just like all the other industries do with their oils, and extract more and more out of there. And of course, the second extraction is not as pure, not nearly as pure as the first. It's a bit harsher. Like I said, the acidity's off. They have to balance it out. A lot of chefs will cook with an olive oil blend. So by an olive oil and canola blend, don't bother with any of those. The only olive oil you want to buy is extra virgin. You want to season with it. Do not cook with it. Keep it in the refrigerator. If olive oil invented today, it would be one of the top 5 therapeutic things you can put into your body. It has a lot of healing properties. That's why you want to respect what is in here. Now, most companies, when you go to the store, if you're walking to a big box store, you'll see Colavita, you'll see Bertolli, you'll see all these brands that you'll see across the country. Most of those companies do not own an olive tree. Those are considered packers. They're not producers, they're packers. They're not growers, they're packers. What they do is they buy olive oil on the open market. They buy it from Tunisia, from Spain, from Greece, from all over the Mediterranean. Bertolli, if you go to their property in Milan, they do have olive trees in their driveway as decoration, as part of the landscape. But it's not part of what they're doing with those olive trees. They literally pull in tankers of olive oil that are already processed throughout the whole Mediterranean and bring it to Italy and then mix it, blend it, and bottle it, and then send it across America. It's America's #1 brand. They're like the biggest olive oil producer in the world, olive oil packer in the world, olive oil label is what it really is. And the other ones do this too. Colavita, all the big guys do this. They don't own the trees. They might have started out owning the trees and then, expanded and kept buying and outsourcing. But they don't currently do that. That's not part of their business. That's not their business model. It's to go to North African countries, it's go to Spain, go to Greece, go to these countries and buy inexpensive extra virgin olive oil and hope that it's actually what it says it is. Now, a lot of these countries, when you're buying and shipping, there's no way of really understanding if they're putting hazelnut oil with a little bit of chlorophyll, a little bit of flavorings in it to make it look like olive oil. It's very popular. If you go to Consumer Reports has always done great work on this. You can check out fraudulent olive oil, because once you take olive oil home and test it to the lab, and you think it's extra virgin, you'll find out that it could be hazelnut oil, it could be other oils in there that are cutting in. It might not be 100%. Folks, olive oil is one of the most fraudulent foods because it's expensive to produce. When we go to Italy, on these small family farms that have the trees there where they handpick the olives and make it, it costs them for to make a bottle, it costs them themselves like 6, 7, 8 euro themselves to make it. Now, by the time you sell it off, then by the time you ship it to the U.S. and you mark it up and everything, it's legitimately $30 a bottle. That's legitimately what it costs, $30 a bottle. You have 4 liters in a gallon. You're at $120 a gallon for olive oil, for true extra virgin, estate grown, means they're not sourcing the olives out. They're growing themselves. True estate grown olive oil is well over $100 if you're going to buy it. Now, we know that most of us are not going to go to the store and buy a jug of olive oil for $100. It's just not going to happen. Most of us are going to go in and say, oh, look, $29.99 for a gallon of olive oil, the extra virgin Bertolli stuff, or the cold, whatever it is. Let's buy that, thinking what we're buying is legit, and it's not. There's so many corners that can be cut. I'm not saying you're going to get ripped off every time or fraudulent every time, but realistically, in the ideal production world of olive oil, family operations, smaller operations, organic, not these mass, acres and acres and acres and acres of just monocropping olives in a big industrial, you're going to pay good money for olive oil. That's just what it is. When these companies get big and they start outsourcing, things become very questionable. And you can check these out. I mean, literally over half of the olive oil that you're going to buy all the time is there's going to be a questionable doubt if you're going to the store and buying it, especially in those big tins like that. Now, olive oil, as far as buying it, where to buy it. So if I were a consumer, if I wasn't a chef and I was into olive oil and healthier food, what I would do for olive oil is I would be very cautious about the expiration dates on the olive oils. They're always given 2 years expiration on here, 2 years expiration. So if you're buying something that's a year out or a year and a half, if it expires in 6 months, you know it's been in here for a year and a half already. That's how you can tell. All right, so fresher the olive oil, the better. Okay. If you want to truly get good olive oil, I would go to an olive oil store. I would go to a store that specializes in olive oils. And it may be a health food store, it may be a Whole Foods, it may be Fairway. I don't know if Fairways exist anymore, do they? I don't know if they're all gone. But Fairway used to have a great olive oil section where you used to be able to walk in and you could taste different olive oils. You could actually taste them, and they would have somebody on staff that knew what they were talking about with olives. Same things with their cheese and things with their coffee. They knew what they were talking about. So you could taste and decide, hey, I'd like to drizzle this on some lamb chops and steak, or I want one that I can drizzle on fish. I like one I can make salads with. I like one that's grassier. I like one that doesn't have as much flavor. Something more mild for more applications in the kitchen. So you could actually come home with 2 or 3 or 4 bottles of extra virgin olive oil, depending on what you're going to use it for, if you really wanted to really get into this. So, taste before you buy. That's crucial. If you know that, hey, I like this brand here that Marcus has, the Olive, and at time and time, then yeah, you keep buying it. But if you're going shopping for olive oil and you want to experiment, you should go to a store that's going to allow you to taste, and a store that is knowledgeable about the olive oil and understand where it's coming from, how it's grown. Are they hybrid trees? Are they not? Are they heirloom trees? So which makes a difference on how it's harvested, what country is it, the expiration dates on it, all that kind of stuff. So the keys to look for olive oil, what makes the best olive oil, especially the non-fraudulent ones, are things that are going to come from a single estate. Now, when you look at wine has the same terminology. So if it says estate bottled, single estate, which this one is here, it comes from one farm. One farm produces all of the olives for here. That same farm is a farm that presses it and bottles it. Okay? It's not a co-op. And it's not a big conglomerate where they're just pulling in from all over, like Bertolli, Colavita, and all the big brands you're going to find in the store. So they grow it. They make sure it's organic. They're certified organic. So the label there, certified organic. So they grow this organically on their own property, and it goes into their own machinery. It goes to their own presses, and it's their own bottling. And that's it. They have 100% control throughout the whole process of what's going on with these olives and this olive oil, unlike the majority of the other ones. And people don't realize, even when you go to into a store and you buy Earthbound Organics or any of these organic brands or any of these brands, Green Giant, any of these brands, these people are not farmers. They're not. Earthbound is not a farm. Earthbound's a label. Green Giant's not a farm. They're not growing everything. They're a label. Purdue is not a farm. They're a label. They contract out between hundreds of farms to produce their products. Same thing like Murray's Chickens. Murray's Chickens, they contract out to other farmers with certain specific specifications or standards to produce chickens for them. Same thing with Purdue. Same thing with Bell and Evans. They're not farms. They're packers, and they just have a label. And most olive oils are like that. They're not producers, like Bertolli, Colavita. They're not producers. They're just packers. So, and it happens throughout the whole food world. This is what happens. And they might start out as a farm, like Cascadian Farm starts out as a farm. They get bigger. They buy. They can't support all that they're selling, or all the demand for the sales. So they have to buy from other farms. And then all of a sudden, General Mills comes in and says, "Oh wow, successful brand, Cascadian Farms. It's organic. Let's buy them, gobble them up, and keep the name and the reputation, because that's what we're buying." And then all of a sudden really outsource from anybody we can that's willing to grow anything that could be organic for us. So they don't have control over everything. Chocolate is notorious for this. It is extremely hard to find single estate chocolate from one producer, the people that grow it. It just really doesn't exist, especially when you're in Africa. So these companies like Hershey's and Calabo, they all say, "Oh, we don't support child labor and this and that, and we do this and this." They're not on the fields. They don't own the fields. The small farmers who own the fields are the ones who are doing all this stuff and supporting 9, 10, 11-year-old boys going out there instead of going to school. But Calabo on their website has a really great disclaimer how they're fighting for this and they don't do it. None of their chocolate is. That's just their plant that's in the main city. They don't employ 11-year-old boys. But on the farm that they just bought the chocolate from, there's 11-year-old boys out there with machetes instead of going to school, doing cacao production, cacao harvesting. So chocolate is notorious for this. And really, for chocolate, you could not really grow the beans, pick the beans, ferment the beans, process the beans and put your own label on it. There's way too many steps in chocolate to do that. Way too many. And if you're a small African farmer, you don't have the means to do it. You just sell it off, and sometimes you have to sell it off depending upon what country you're in, and it goes to the country, or to the state, it goes to the government, and the government sets the prices, and it all goes in one spot, and that's it. So even if you grew it, you would have no option to really have a free market enterprise on your own product. So olive oil is a big product. That these are all labels you're buying in the store. As soon as you start buying from the actual producer, things change, and this is where the real value, this is where the real quality comes in. This is why the price is up there. So these we sell right now for $32. We sell a lot of these. I talked to our distributor yesterday, and he goes, Marcus, prices are going up and everything. I said, yeah, I know. He goes, before the next shipment of your Olive comes in, if you want to take a multiple case advantage, we can, save you a little money. If you want to stock up a little bit, I said, well, I don't want to stock up that much because, I know this stuff has a shelf life. So I wouldn't buy 2 years worth of olive oil, a year worth of olive oil. I'd buy 6 months worth of olive oil at a time, right? And so I was looking at the prices, and I said, okay, so if I buy a lot of cases of these, I can save $4, $5 a bottle. I'm like, that's a great deal. Because if I put it out to my grocery list at Aroma Time, I bet I could sell 5 cases this week of this olive oil and save everybody money. So that's what I did today. It just came in just now. Got a whole slew of cases of these. These are normally $32. We're blowing them out this week for $25 a bottle. $25 a bottle. That is an amazing price. It's a certified organic, single estate. It's all verified. One producer, one grower. They do everything. Olive. It's organic. This is not from Italy. Bill might be asking where from Italy is it, or is it from Italy? This is from South America, folks. It's from Chile. There are many regions around the world that produce olives. Many regions. Jamie and I were just in Mexico in Valle de Guadalupe. There's tons of olive trees down there in Mexico making olive oil. Again, small production, very expensive, the real deal. It doesn't make it to the U.S. because the production is so small, a lot of it. Some of it I'm sure does. But a lot of it is very small production, doesn't make it to the U.S. So, Chile, California, Australia, very well known for olive oil production. California, too. I already mentioned California. All of the Mediterranean. Right as soon as you come into Spain, Rock and Gibraltar, right through that whole area, right? So, Southern Europe, right through France. France makes olive oil, too. Not very popular after the big frost of the 30s. It killed off a lot of the olive trees, the big colds there. And the French kind of got out of the whole idea of making olive oil on a bigger scale, so it's all small family farm. If you ever find French extra virgin olive oil, buy it. The quality is typically always there, really always there. So France, going down into Italy, all of Italy, right? And you can go into Greece, Turkey, all these, and stuff from Turkey, folks. I mean, the big conglomerates love to buy stuff from Turkey. They're not part of the euro, and things are really inexpensive coming out of Turkey, really inexpensive. So they can really get a lot of value for what they're buying from Turkey, but who knows how legitimate it is, right? And all through Northern Africa too. So olive oil is all prominent through there. So other regions for olive oil, I'm sure olive oil comes from other regions, but just not on a commercial scale. But anywhere the vines grow, grapes grow, typically you can grow olives for olive oil, except here in New York. It's very standard to go California, Italy, Spain, and have olive trees growing right next to vines, the grapevines. Very common. New York's probably the only wine region I really have not seen that in. All the other wine regions have that. So that's the deal, folks. So if you want to get in on olive oil this week, $25. It's going to be on sale for the next week, starting today to next, probably Thursday or Friday. $25. This great extra virgin olive oil, best price. When the new shipment comes in, the price will be going up, so it won't even be $32 for us. It might be even more than $32. So that's the deal with that. And that is here, folks. It's in stock right now. The cases just came in the back door. I haven't even had time to put them on the shelves yet. So that's the story with that. Got to get going. Everybody have an amazing day. No jazz tonight. We're kind of taking a break on jazz. It's cold out, right? So we just put sides in the tent, and we can put the heat on the tent, but it is a little chilly. It's still a little too chilly out. All right, folks, that's it. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. Jennifer, Jamie, Billy, Christine. Thank you, everybody. So $25 for the next week on sale. Save $7 a bottle on this extra virgin olive oil. It comes in a liter, certified organic, single estate, the real deal stuff. Amazing. If you want to come in and taste it, I always have a bottle open because I use it for myself and we use it in the kitchen. So we always have a bottle open. Have a great day, everybody.